Mont-Saint-Michel is a tidal island and mainland commune in Normandy, France. The island lies approximately 1 kilometre off France's northwestern coast, at the mouth of the Couesnon River near Avranches, and is 7 hectares in area. The mainland part of the commune is 393 hectares in area, so that the total surface of the commune is 400 hectares. As of 2019, the island had a population of 29. The commune's position, on an island just a few hundred meters from land, made it accessible at low tide to the many pilgrims to its abbey. Indefensible as the incoming tide stranded, drove off, or drowned would-be assailants. The island remained unconquered during the 100 Years' War. A small garrison fended off a full attack by the English in 1433. Louis XI recognized the benefits of its natural defense and turned it into a prison. The abbey was used regularly as a prison during the Ancien regime. Mont-Saint-Michel and its surrounding bay were inscribed on the UNESCO list of World Heritage Sites in 1979 for its unique aesthetic and importance as a Catholic site. It is visited by more than 3 million people each year, and is the most visited tourist attraction in France outside of Paris. Over 60 buildings within the commune are protected as historical monuments. Now a rocky tidal island, the mount occupied dry land in prehistoric times. As sea levels rose, erosion reshaped the coastal landscape, and several outcrops of granite emerged in the bay, having resisted the wear and tear of the ocean better than the surrounding rocks. These included Lilmer, Mont-Dal, Tombelaine, and Mont-Tombay, later called Mont-Saint-Michel. Mont-Saint-Michel consists of leucogranite which solidified from an underground intrusion of molten magma about 525 million years ago, during the Cambrian period, as one of the younger parts of the Manselian granitic batholith. Early studies of Mont-Saint-Michel by French geologists sometimes describe the leucogranite of the Mont as granulite, but this granitic meaning of granulite is now obsolete. The tides vary greatly, at roughly 14 meters between highest and lowest water marks. Popularly nicknamed St. Michael in Peril of the Sea, by medieval pilgrims making their way across the flats, the mount can still pose dangers for visitors who avoid the causeway and attempt the hazardous walk across the sands from the neighboring coast. In June 2006, French Prime Minister Dominique de Villepin and regional authorities announced a €200 million project to build a hydraulic dam using the waters of the Couesnon and the tides to help remove the accumulated silt, and to make Mont-Saint-Michel an island again. The construction of the dam began in 2009. The project included the removal of the causeway and its visitor car park. Since April 2012, the new car park on the mainland has been located 2.5 kilometers from the island. Visitors can walk or use shuttles to cross the causeway. In July 2014, the new bridge, by architect Dietmar Feichtinger, was opened to the public. The light bridge allows waters to flow freely around the island and improves the efficiency of the now operational dam. The bridge, which cost €209 million, was opened by President François Hollande. Before the construction of the first monastic establishment in the 8th century, the island was called Mont-Tombay. According to a legend, the Archangel Michael appeared in 708 to Aubert of Avranches, the Bishop of Avranches, and instructed him to build a church on the rocky islet. Unable to defend his kingdom against the assaults of the Vikings, the king of the Franks agreed to grant the Cotentin Peninsula and the Avranchin, including Mont-Saint-Michel traditionally linked to the city of Avranches, to the Bretons in the Treaty of Compiègne. This marked the beginning of a brief period of Breton possession of the Mont. In fact, these lands and Mont-Saint-Michel were never really included in the Duchy of Brittany. Around 989 to 990 these traditional bishoprics, dependent of the Archbishopric of Rouen and that had been left vacant during the time of the Viking raids, regained their bishops. The mount gained strategic significance again in 933 when William I Longsword annexed the Cotentin Peninsula from the weakened Duchy of Brittany. This made the mount definitively part of Normandy, and is depicted in the Bayeux tapestry, which commemorates the Norman conquest. Harold Godwinson is pictured on the tapestry rescuing 2 Norman knights from the quicksand in the tidal flats during the Breton-Norman War. Norman ducal patronage financed the spectacular Norman architecture of the abbey in subsequent centuries. In 1067, the monastery of Mont-Saint-Michel gave its support to William the Conqueror in his claim to the English throne. This he rewarded with properties and grounds on the English side of the Channel, including a small island off the southwestern coast of Cornwall which was modelled after Mont-Saint-Michel and became a Norman priory named St. Michael's Mount of Penzance. During the 100 Years' War, English forces unsuccessfully besieged Mont-Saint-Michel twice. The first siege started in 1423, and was lifted the next year. In 1433, an English force equipped with wrought iron bombards and under the command of Thomas Scales, 7th Baron Scales again besieged the island. It was likewise lifted the next year. Scales's men abandoned 2 bombards they had used during the siege on the 17th of June 1434. They were recovered by the French and are currently on display. Historically, Mont-Saint-Michel was the Norman counterpart of St. Michael's Mount in Cornwall, UK, which was given to the Benedictines, the religious order of Mont-Saint-Michel, by Edward the Confessor in the 11th century. The two mounts share the same tidal island characteristics and a similar conical shape, though Mont-Saint-Michel is much taller. The Mont-Saint-Michel has long belonged to some families who shared the businesses in the town and ran the village administration. Tourism is almost the sole source of income of the commune, bringing $63 million to the small island in 2014. There are about 50 shops for 3 million tourists. About 25 people sleep every night on the mount, monks included, except for those in hotels. There are 132 hotel rooms within the island's walls. Overtourism is a problem for Mont-Saint-Michel, exacerbated by tourists mostly visiting on day trips, which causes overcrowding from 10 o'clock to 1600, especially in the summer. The Mont-Saint-Michel Foundation has introduced measures to change this pattern and reduce daytime overcrowding, including by introducing free parking after 1830, except during July and August.